Perfect. So, hello everyone. Thank you for being here with me. Today I'm with my very good manager, Isa, who's gonna help us present the new interface as well. So, of course, as usual, if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer all of them at the end of our presentation. And today we're just gonna break down the new aspects that come with our newest interface. So surely if you've logged in today, you've seen that things look a little bit different than usual. That's completely normal. That's part of our newest release. A very fun release that comes with lots of new intuitive features, a lot more dynamic features as well. So I'm just gonna go over what has changed, and if you have any questions, again, please feel free to ask them towards the end. So as you log into app.cakemail, this would be the dashboard. So no big change on this front. You've got your overall metrics, you've got your campaign engagement, your audience growth, and so on. So in this regards, not much has changed. Now, I just want to quickly take your attention to this new column that's on the left of your screen. Now, that's the newest release. Instead of having a navigation bar on top of your screen, now it is all condensed into a more intuitive format on the left of your screen. So over here, you have all the different aspects and features of your account. Before moving on, I just want to quickly grab your attention to this little feature here, which helps you collapse this column. So if you ever feel that you need to have more space within your screen, you can always collapse this column and have more space within the screen. I'm just gonna make sure that I click on it because we want to go through the different features today. And I'm gonna grab your attention to the settings over here. So in the previous versions, we had a separate tab on the right that would take you to your account settings, your account profile, and so on. But this time we decided to all condensate it into one spot to make it more accessible and more user-friendly. So instead of going into different sections just to access your user settings, now they are all summarized here. By clicking on the little cog on the left, you get to access of your profile. So starting off, we have the organization profile. That would be the organization or the association to which you belong. That's your profile, your name, your logo, your address, and so on. If you click on users, you have all of the users within your account. This has not changed much, but now you need to go over here if you wish to add any new users into your account. All you have to do is click on the little plus and as usual, just enter the details and add your newest user. Over here is your senders and domains. So 2026 is almost here, and domain authentication is now more important than ever before. So if you have a new domain that you're sending from, make sure that you add it and that you authenticate it. So to add a new domain, you just have to click on the little plus, fill out the different fields, and add your domain. You can make sure to authenticate them by clicking on the little arrow over here and clicking Authenticate Domain. That will give you access to all the instructions that you need to follow in order to have a legitimate authenticated account. That's absolutely necessary for your delivery and to ensure that you do not end up in the spam boxes of your contacts. So if you go to Brand Kit, that's where you add all of your brand details, your logo, your colors, your branding visuals. You can add your confirmation pages, smart templates, branding, opt-in emails, and so on. Now, this aspect has not changed much, but you can always preview your results and then publish them. Again, still on the settings part, you have your experts. So whenever you export your lists, your campaign activity reports, that's where you will find them. You will find them amongst your settings, and you will be able to download them as a CSV file. Over here are your plans and billing. So you have a more detailed page dedicated to the plans and the billings and all the different features that are now accessible with this new interface. Again, this is still a project in development. We're still exploring new aspects, but I just want to quickly grab your attention to the newest features of our premium plans. We're going to touch base on this a little bit later, but our premium plan has been rethought to be more advanced, to give you access to more exclusive features that you can now leverage and make the most out of when creating your campaigns, but much more, and we're going to see that in a second. And finally, you have the change language option, which allows you to essentially change the language of your account, switch it to French, English, Spanish, whichever works for you. And all the way down is our help and support. So we've released a new documentation as well that's up to date with all of the different features that are now added onto the platform. So if you have any questions, any doubts, of course, our support is always here to help you, but we do have more detailed documentation available as well that will cover any possible questions you might have when using the platform. So once that's done, you can remove the drop-down menu, and then we can move on to different aspects of the platform. So over here, starting off, we have our campaigns. So our campaigns will take you to different sections as well. You have the emails, which will take you to your email creation part. Those are your regular marketing campaigns. Here you have a grouping of all your campaigns that includes your sent campaigns as well as the drafts, but you can also sort and navigate using different sections. So for example, only the drafts, only your outbox, that would be your scheduled emails and the ones that are gonna be sent out, and your sent emails along with their reports. So again, this is something you will be familiar with. It's the same interface for the reports and the contact activity in which you can export your details. So moving on, we have the A/B tests. That would be the feature that allows you to send testing emails to compare between how two campaigns are doing, which one engages more than the other. Again, this is where you can create it all within the campaigns section of your account. And finally here, you have your email templates. So your email templates are all of the templates that are made available to you by CakeMail. You've got your free templates, your professional templates, as well as the ones you will create and save for your future campaigns. Of course, you can always create a new one, save a new one. It's pretty intuitive in this sense, and not much has changed in this aspect. Of course, if you wish to create a campaign, all you have to do is click on the little plus over here, select a template, and the editor is the same as before. You simply select and edit your details, your content, again, always with the block editor. So sorry if it's taken some time, since I'm having a bit of network issues. But all in all, this is the editor. Nothing has changed in this area. We always recommend just playing around with it, getting comfortable with the blocks and how they go in together. Now, I'm not going to go too much in depth with this. I'm just showing you what has changed and what hasn't. So now that we're done with campaigns, we can move on to your automations. So your automations are the workflows that you can automate so you have specific actions happening over and over again. For example, a welcome email to your audience. You want that to be repeated as soon as someone subscribes to your list. For example, I have a promotional campaign over here. You can see its status, the list that it belongs to, when it was created, and when was the last time we've updated it. In this section, now that is the section which has had the the most improvements, the newest features as well, that would be our audience building. So CakeMail is now taking more of a focus on how to help you grow your list. This is not just about managing your list, but also leveraging different tools to make it more attractive to new contacts. So over here in your audience building, you have your legacy forms. I'm starting all the way down and we're going to gradually make our way up. The legacy forms are the forms as you know them. They're the basic forms that you've created and are still accessible within the account. So these are the forms that were previously named as regular forms, embedded, or hosted. You can find them over here, and you can, of course, open them, play around with them, and edit them. Over here, you have the newest forms, which are right now still a beta feature, but that we've developed for more premium accounts. Right now, all of you can access them and play around with them. And they do have a bit more features compared to their previous legacy forms. So over here, you have your forms. Over here is the little button to add more. I just want to quickly grab your attention to one of my existing forms. I'm just going to click open, and I'm going to walk you through the different aspects. So we've been receiving lots of feedback, lots of very positive feedback, lots of things that users would like to add to their forms. One of them would be little options to select from. So over here, you have two columns. On the left is all the different aspects that you can add to your form, for example, like reCAPTCHA if you wish to integrate it to your form, redirections, double opt-ins, and so on. I'm not going to go too much in depth on this. I just want to grab your attention on a more important aspect, which is the form editing. So over here, you have your preview options, but I'm just quickly going to click Edit Form. With the newest forms, what you can do is essentially have new fields within your campaigns. So previously, you could only have your emails, a few custom attributes like name, first name, but we decided to push it a bit further and add tags and interests as well. So, for example, when someone now accesses your form, they can pick out their interests as they subscribe. So all I have to do, click on the form, scroll down, and here you have manage fields. These fields allow you to add different information to ask your audience when they subscribe to your form. For example, city, date subscribed, all of these regular attributes, but also interests. Say, for example, you have different interests within your lists. People can now choose what they want to be subscribed to. For example, you could add newsletters, promo codes, reminders, all of which are gonna be synchronized with the contact list and directly added to your contact. That's information that's absolutely crucial when you wanna segment, when you wanna maybe personalize your sending a little bit more. So for example, here I have my tags. For example, coffee enthusiast, giveaway win. These are all already existing in my list, but I can now leverage them for my users for my contacts to use. I can also add different fields. You asked and we delivered. So we have added I agree to receive information checkbox that allows people to further prove that they are consenting to receive all of your emails, that they want to actively receive newsletters and content from you. And that is a step further for CASL laws and anti-spam laws as a whole. So over here, of course, you can delete, you can personalize as you wish. You can edit the colors and center the text if you wish. For example, I'm going to move it to the side. I can move it to the other side or even center it. I can change the text color. If I wish to delete anything, all I have to do is press delete. If I want to move it around, I just have to drag it and drop it somewhere else. Again, while all these new features are absolutely amazing, we still recommend not overflooding your form with information. We want to ultimately keep it simple and straight to the point, so make sure you are not overcrowding it with too many tags, too many interests. Of course, you can edit the color of your button. You can edit the text. Here I have submit, but I can change my text to subscribe. I can change the name of my tags, preferences, for example. I can also click over here and play around even further with the tags that I want to be displayed. Now, again, these are all features that are currently available as beta, but they are part of our premium plan. So if you wish to access more of these features, you would have to subscribe to a plan that allows you to access them. Right now, you can create one free form, play around with it. I highly recommend just getting a taste of this new feature. Try adding it to your website just to play around with it. But ultimately, it is a premium feature. For example, here you can add a reCAPTCHA. You have a dynamic embedded snippet. You can add many aspects and many different things to your form. Just want to quickly grab your attention to this button over here, which allows you to publish your form. So once you're done editing, you're satisfied with the overall look of your form, you want to publish it in order to make it public to your audience. So I've clicked on the little spaceship and now it is published. This means that I can use this embedded form to add it directly onto my website to integrate it. Here, for example, I have a hosted link. So if I want to share it to my socials, I simply have to access this through a link. As you can see, I just copy and pasted it. I can, of course, even when published, I can go back and I can edit it even further. I forgot to mention, but over here is the smart branding. So if you wanted to represent your brand, you can directly do so by clicking on the little arrow over here, and it will directly have all of your brand color, all of your brand visuals automatically added to it. So once that's done, I'm gonna press save again. I'm gonna close, and it's gonna change color to fit the grain that I have in my brand. So whenever you make changes to your form, don't forget to publish it and it will be good to go. Now, I'm super thrilled about this. We've been having multiple feedbacks of people that wish to segment their lists further to add more choice to their contacts, and now this is a feature that's accessible. Moving on, we have our pop-ups. This is also part of our newest release. It is a pop-up that can be integrated onto your website to give information so people can subscribe to your newsletter, just to have a more modern feel to it as they go into your website. So for example, I've created one just as a draft. Again, this is also part of our premium plan, but right now you can test it out with one pop-up. So over here would be your pop-up editor. That's the same as the previous editors. It's all drag and drop, very easy to use, and you need to picture it within your website. So someone is entering your website for the first time, you want a pop-up to tell them that, hey, we have a newsletter you can subscribe to. You can now do so using a pop-up created directly from CakeMail. So for example, over here, I have my subscribe and get 10% off in all our locations. People can add their email address over here. They can subscribe directly. And just like previous forms, you can change the colors, you can change the texts and the display of the images. You can also add various aspects. For example, I want to add a paragraph over here. I can do so by just drag and drop in the different elements. Once I'm happy with it, I can also enable the smart branding just so it's more aligned with what I want. I can click save. And once that's done, I can simply close it. So as you can see, the preview is gonna load a little bit. I have my different colors here. I can preview what this looks like on mobile. I can preview it on a tablet or on a desktop. And once I'm happy with it, I can publish it. Now you can change the different configuration of your pop-up. For example, the way it will be positioned. Do you want it to be on the center, top right, or top left, bottom of your website? It all depends on your vision. You can also choose when to trigger it. So for example, whenever someone enters your page, whenever someone reloads your page, it all depends on the frequency and how often you want people to see this information. Now, of course, it is not recommended to be flooding them with this. So make sure that the frequency is adjusted to be more intuitive and less persistent. You can change the overlay, the opacity of your text, and different aspects. You can have a close button, anything that can allow you to properly sorry, it's taken a little second to load. But all in all, this is a very cool feature that really allows you to bring your contacts' attention to something specific. So for example, if you have special promotional codes, if you have a giveaway, if you have special events that you want them to register to, this is all something that you can do with a pop-up form. Now that it's published, you can simply see that a dynamic embedded code is generated. And this is exactly what you want to add to your website. This is something that you add and that will keep showing up and showing up. This is a super cool engagement tool and really helps you grow your list tremendously. So I'm gonna click close and I'm gonna move on to another one of our very cool features, the landing pages. So landing pages, just like our previous features that were just presented now, is a really cool tool to just grab more engagement from your audience. Over here is the editor. I'm just going to click open. And as you can see, this is a preview of the page and what it looks like. So say, for example, you want a landing page where people can go subscribe to your newsletter, they can maybe be redirected to specific content. You can do so by creating it directly in CakeMail. So I'm gonna click edit. I'm just gonna walk you through what that looks like. Again, it's the same editor, so same principle, just drag and drop your elements. But the cool thing is that you can, just gonna take a second to load. Perfect. So this is the preview. This is what it looks like. It's very similar to the campaign editor, but think of it as a website page. So this is a page where you can add your logo, different navigation items. So for example, if you want to redirect them to different sections of your account, of your website, sorry. Here you have different elements that you can grab attention to. For example, if like me, you love blogs, then maybe post to your blog articles. And this is a really cool little snippet that really adds a lot to your website and definitely gives a more modern feel to it. For example, here, it's directly embedded where you can simply add the email of your contacts so they can subscribe to your website. And again, just like previously, you can enable your smart branding. So you have less of a hassle and it's directly personalized to fit your identity rather than, something else. So I'm gonna click save. And once that's saved, we will be able to move on to other cool aspects. For example, here you can see that it has changed to fit my brand identity. So it's green, text is brown. It just takes a couple seconds to load, but this is just to give you an idea. Of course, you can play around with it too. I'm still discovering myself, but yeah. Over here, you have different aspects that you can add. Since this is a website page, you need to think of it like a regular website. You want to be able to add your five icons. So the little icon that tells us that this is your brand on the top of your browser. You can add SEO settings to be boosted in top of the searches in Google. So when someone searches for your page, they see it up top rather than all the way down. Your social share preview. So what happens when your page is shared on social media. And this is all very, very cool. This is all hosted locally on CakeMail for the beta period. So right now, I really advise you to just go ahead, play around with it, try out as many things as you want, as long as this is hosted by us. Of course, you can also add the double opt-in since we have a little subscription form over here. You can add a double opt-in for the subscription. Redirections, reCAPTCHA, all the good stuff. Once you're happy with it, publish, and then all you have to do is wait for it to get live. And now that it's published, you can simply access it directly. So. Now, another fun thing I want to show you is our opt-in emails. So when someone subscribes to your list, they will generally receive a confirmation email. Before our latest update, these pages used to be standard. They used to be by default. But now you have more power to personalize them and to get them to really fit your identity. So for example, I can choose the type of email that I want to set up. I have a double opt-in email. I can choose the language. You have all kinds of languages to choose from. You can select a sender. That would be oops, I picked Greek. Well, you can pick a sender, which your email is going to be sent from, and a template. So you have templates that are created by default. We call them smart because they're already branded with your identity. They already have your brand colors and your logos, but you can always create your own templates. You can create your own templates with different aspects, visual aspects, different images, and so on, just to better fit your vision. Right now, since this is still a tool in development, we only have double opt-in emails available, but we're still working on it, and hopefully in the very near future, you will have access to even more custom emails for your audiences. Now, I believe this covers a lot of our audience building. This is the biggest aspect of our newest release. The audience building is now a real tool, not only to engage, but also to build your list. This helps you tremendously because it essentially does the work of a marketing agency for you on your hands directly on the dashboard. Over here is the audience. Just gonna collapse this. Oh well. Over here is your audience. Your lists haven't changed much. Now we like to keep them in a menu where you have separate lists visible. For example, here I have two distinct lists and I'm gonna go to my main one. All I have to do is click on View Contacts. So this side of the app did not change. It's still your irregular list. You can collapse this so you have a better vision of the screen. You can play around with the different filters, the different conditions. You can add your contacts by clicking on the little plus. So, of course, as fluid as ever. I'm gonna click on the little thingy here. Here you have a library of all of your tags. So you can create new ones, find the old ones, just like usual. And finally, good plus that we've added is your suppression list. So when someone unsubscribes to all of your communications, or when someone decides to report you as spam, even when it is an accident, they get added to a suppression list. This is a legal requirement that allows us to protect your reputation as a sender. So when someone reports you as spam, you are not reaching out to them again and in turn impacting your reputation badly. So now, whenever someone reports you as spam, someone unsubscribes to all of your communications, they are added to the suppression list directly available on your audience. Now, what happens when someone reports you as spam is they're added here, but you cannot remove them. That's absolutely normal. This is part of a process to help ensure that your deliverability is as optimized as possible, that you're not accidentally breaking any laws. So if you ever see that someone has reported you as spam, you can simply write us a ticket to our support team, and we would be more than happy to assist you with this. Now, this is the big idea of audiences, audience buildings, and so on. Over here, we have the email API. This is for transactional sendings. So it is a bit different from your marketing campaigns, but it essentially allows you to send, for example, verification codes to one single contact at a time. So if someone is subscribing to your website, maybe you want to send them a password reset, maybe you want to send them a specific code, you can do so using our email API. So over here, you get metrics, you get deliverability. So this might be a little bit more advanced in certain areas, but it is a very cool feature if you do transactional sending. And it is all centralized over here, so you do not get lost trying to find this information. Over here, you got the documentation to learn more about it, and your API guide if you want to do transactional sendings. Finally, latest thing is your resources, which would be your email templates and your media library. So whenever you add a picture, you add a video, you add an image, it is all sitting here in your media library, which you can access directly rather than by going into the editor. So whenever you want to add pictures, you want to add a media, you can do so directly from here. Clicking on the upload button. So I hope this was a clear little breakdown. Again, this is still all in development. We're still running the beta version, but we're very excited about this and we hope that you are too. I hope this will spike your attention to just play around with the pop-ups, play around with the forms and all the cool new features. So I think that was pretty much all for me. We're gonna